Did you and or Mike Zimmer have any communication with Kirk Cousins to assure him that he will be back and he'll be the quarterback of this team next season?
Yeah, I think Coach Zim put that to bed when he spoke after the season. Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. I know there's a lot of rumors floating around out there, but Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. We felt that he played very well and probably the best he's ever played down that stretch last year in the way he played. So, Kirk's our quarterback going forward, and look forward to him another year in his system, and excited for him and what he's going to bring to our team next year.
Rick, can you kind of explain more on how this draft process is going to work for you guys? I mean, you mentioned the medical combine part, but just what are some of the challenges when it comes to not only getting with these players, but also the players who opted out from last year?
Well, it's not just us, it's 31 other teams too. And last year, seemed like we were adapting every other week on, no pro days, and then virtual only, and then everything is going to be done from the house, and you're going to have to do the draft from your house. So I think in general that most of us are kind of, I don't want to say callous, but it's no big deal when we have to make changes and adjustments. And it's our job and our responsibility, whatever those changes or adjustments are to whatever environment we're in, that's our responsibility to do the best we can to get the information that we need. So like, I have a lot of great people on my staff that come up with a lot of creative ways on being able to get the information that we have to, even talking from an analytics department, if we don't get all the numbers we normally get. Even last year, they made some adjustments, but I knew that most of the guys that were at the combine were the guys that were going to get drafted anyway. So we did have some hard numbers, but as we get going through these pro days, we're trying to make it as uniform as possible on the video or on the type of drills that are going to be done, so we can compare apples to apples when we go from school to school. So all the offensive linemen or defensive linemen working out are potentially doing the same type of drills. We also have to worry about not only working within the NFL rules, but with the state and local guideline rules, and also with the university rules. So you're working with three different sets of rules. Some of the colleges may require you to have a negative COVID test before you can come on campus 2 days before. So how do you work around that? So like I said, there's probably going to be a lot of different curveballs that are thrown our way, but after getting through the year that everybody was able to get through last year, those don't seem to be as big of issues. It's more like, okay, that's what it is. Let's figure out a way to solve it and move forward. So, we're kind of used to making adjustments on the fly.
Next up is Eric, followed by Mark.
Hey, Rick, you mentioned a pro day that's limited to 3 team personnel, at each school. How do you determine which 3 go? You said you're going to be at 10 to 15. Is it a position coach? Is it, a coordinator?
It depends on the school. So I don't know how many coaches will be able to go out. There's going to be no private workouts this year. You get one shot at their pro day only. So it's some schools, can coaches actually get on and work with the players. Technically, there's only going to be allowed right now, as we're going through all these rules, 6 people at the pro days that can actually interact with the players, from the measurements, the timing on the field. Everybody else is going to have to observe from the sideline. So it'll be based on where the prospects are and who's going to go.
Hey, Rick, do you think, like a lot of people, that there'll be 5 of the top 9 or 10 picks will be quarterbacks? And if so, what kind of impact does that have? And how much does that help you guys with that first pick?
Well, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the draft right now. There's still a long ways to go on if there's any more movement on quarterback trades. There's a whole process we have to go through on this pro day circuit that we're getting ready to embark on. There'll be a lot of movement, just like there is every year after the pro day workouts and guys jockeying for a position. I don't know what other teams are going to do, to be honest with you. If there are that many quarterbacks that do go in the top 10, let's say, I know there's going to be some very good talent that's going to have an impact on our roster when we're picking at 14, if we do stay at 14.
All right, next up is Sam, followed by Jim.
Hey, Rick, because of all the cuts that are going to be happening in free agency, there might be a higher supply of free agents, but because of the lowered cap, again, probably not as much money to throw around. So how is that going to change your approach in free agency?
I think it's hard to predict where the market's going to be because no one knows. I still think probably the top players will still get top money. I don't know where that middle class area is going to come in. I don't know if it's because of the situation every team is and where the cap is that maybe you're going to be able to get one-year deals on some guys at a cheaper rate and them waiting to cash in when the cap does potentially go up. So we're just trying to look at all the different scenarios. The other thing that you do take into account too is that if there is a lot of players that are cut and they're equal in ability, or you see equal in ability to what a UFA is, then do you go towards that player because it's not going to affect anything from a compensatory standpoint going forward. So I don't know what impact that would have on the UFA market either. So you have to look at all those different angles.